Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into everything we know about Apple's iPhone 18 lineup, which is shaping up to be one of the most revolutionary iPhone releases in years. We're talking about the biggest architectural changes since the iPhone X back in 2017, so let's get into it. The big picture. First things first, Apple is completely changing how they're launching iPhones in 2026. According to Mac Rumors, instead of releasing all models at once in September, Apple is splitting the launch into two phases. The high-end models, including the iPhone 18 Pro, iPhone 18 Pro Max, iPhone 18 Air, and a brand new foldable iPhone, will all launch in September 2026, as expected. But here's the twist. The standard iPhone 18 and the budget iPhone 18e won't arrive until spring 2027. This is a massive departure from Apple's traditional strategy, and it signals that Apple is prioritizing its premium lineup more than ever before. The reason? They're introducing groundbreaking technology that's expensive to manufacture, and they need to focus production capacity on the devices that will generate the highest profit margins first. The foldable iPhone is finally coming. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, Apple's first foldable iPhone. Multiple sources, including Mac Rumors and TrendForce, confirm that this device is real and coming in fall 2026. Now, we don't know the official name yet. It could be called the iPhone 18 Fold, or Apple might give it an entirely different branding. But what we do know is pretty exciting. This won't be a flip phone-style foldable. Instead, it's going to open up book-style, similar to the Samsung Galaxy Fold or Google Pixel Fold. When it's closed, you'll have a smaller 5.3-inch outer display that's fully functional. But when you unfold it, boom, you get a massive 7.6-inch inner display. Here's where it gets interesting. Apple analyst Ming-Chi says the device will be insanely thin when unfolded, measuring just 4.5 millimeters. That's thinner than an iPad Air. When closed, it'll be around 9 millimeters thick. Keeping this device ultra-thin has reportedly been Apple's top priority during development. And get this, unlike every other foldable on the market, Apple's version will have no visible crease, or at least a nearly invisible one. According to Mac Rumors, Apple pursued eliminating the crease regardless of cost, and that's actually why it took them so long to bring a foldable to market. They're using a combination of titanium and stainless steel for the hinges, along with liquid metal, to achieve this. The camera system on the foldable will include a 48-megapixel main lens and a 48-megapixel ultra-wide lens, but no telephoto zoom. The inner display will reportedly feature a 24-megapixel under-display camera, which would be an industry first at that resolution. The outer screen will have a traditional hole-punch cutout for the front camera. Battery-wise, we're looking at somewhere between 5,400 to 5,800 milliamp hours, which would make this the largest battery ever in an iPhone. For comparison, the iPhone 17 Pro Max has a 5,088 milliamp hour battery. Now, let's talk about price. Brace yourselves. This foldable iPhone could cost between $1,800 and $2,500. That's nearly double the price of a regular iPhone Pro Max. Latest rumors suggest it'll be closer to the higher end of that range. The iPhone 18 Pro under-display Face ID arrives. Moving on to the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max. According to a recent report from The Information by Wayne Ma and Qianer Liu, these models are finally getting under-display Face ID. This is huge. Apple has been working on this technology for years, and 2026 is when it finally ships. Here's how it'll work. Apple is using what they call spliced micro-transparent glass built into the display. This special glass allows the infrared sensors from the True Depth camera system to pass through the panel without distortion. And because the Face ID sensors are now hidden under the screen, the front-facing camera will move to the top left corner as a single hole-punch cutout. That means, according to The Information, the dynamic island is gone. No more pill-shaped cutout, just a tiny circular hole in the corner. However, there's some conflicting information here. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman suggests the dynamic island will still exist, but will be significantly smaller. Chinese leaker Instant Digital claims there'll be a smaller dynamic island, but no under-display technology, so the jury's still out on the final design. But most sources agree we're getting some major front panel changes. Display sizes will remain the same as current models, 6.3 inches for the Pro and 6.9 inches for the Pro Max, but the Pro Max is getting thicker and heavier. Rumors suggest it could be the heaviest iPhone ever made, weighing over 240 grams. The current iPhone 17 Pro Max weighs 233 grams. Camera upgrades, variable aperture. Camera nerds, this one's for you. The iPhone 18 Pro is getting a variable aperture lens on its main camera. This is technology you'd typically find in professional DSLR cameras. Right now, every iPhone from the iPhone 14 Pro through the iPhone 17 Pro has a fixed aperture of 1.78. The lens is always wide open. With the iPhone 18 Pro, you'll be able to manually adjust the aperture, giving you real control over depth of field and how much light hits the sensor. This means better low-light performance, less overexposure in bright conditions, and the ability to create natural bokeh effects without relying on software trickery. Apple analyst Ming-Chi and The Information both confirm this feature. Additionally, at least one iPhone 18 Pro model will feature a new 3-layer stacked image sensor developed by Samsung. This advanced sensor design will make the camera more responsive, reduce noise, increase dynamic range, and improve overall image quality. The telephoto lens is also getting an upgrade. According to Tech Times, it's jumping from 12 megapixels to 48 megapixels. That's a massive resolution increase that will enable much sharper zoom quality, potentially offering lossless digital zoom at 10x magnification by cropping into the sensor. The A20 chip, Apple's 2-nanometer revolution. Under the hood, the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max, along with the foldable iPhone, will run on Apple's new A20 Pro chip. And here's where things get really technical, but also really important. The A20 will be manufactured using TSMC's cutting-edge 2-nanometer process. According to MacRumors and TrendForce, Apple has secured the majority of TSMC's initial 2-nanometer production capacity for these chips. Moving from 3-nanometer to 2-nanometer means more transistors packed into each chip, which translates to significant performance gains. We're talking about chips that could be up to 15% faster and 30% more efficient than the current A19 chips. That efficiency boost is critical for battery life and thermal management, especially in the Pro Max and foldable models. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Apple is using TSMC's new Wafer-Level Multi-Chip Module, or WMCM for short. What this means is that the RAM will be integrated directly onto the same wafer as the CPU, GPU, and neural engine, rather than sitting adjacent to the chip and connected by a silicon interposer. According to the Information's report, this packaging change will deliver faster performance for both general tasks and Apple Intelligence features, longer battery life, improved thermal management, and a smaller chip footprint. That smaller footprint could free up space inside the iPhone for other components, possibly a larger battery or improved cooling systems. Now, there is a downside: cost. TSMC has reportedly told Apple that 2-nanometer chip pricing will be at least 50% higher than 3-nanometer processors. This is part of why Apple is staggering the launch and prioritizing the most expensive models first. Memory and modem upgrades. On the memory front, the iPhone 18 is rumored to finally get 12 gigabytes of LPDDR5X RAM, matching the Pro models. According to Mushdig and 9to5Mac, this upgrade is essential for running advanced on-device Apple Intelligence features smoothly. And then there's the modem. After years of development, Apple is finally ready to ditch Qualcomm. All iPhone 18 models are expected to use Apple's in-house C2 5G modem built on a 4-nanometer process. According to BGR and PlanHub, this modem will offer better power efficiency and tighter integration with the A20 processor. The C2 modem will support millimeter wave 5G connectivity and should perform competitively with Qualcomm's latest chips. Battery technology. One last thing worth mentioning, stacked battery technology. According to BGR, the iPhone 18 lineup may adopt stacked battery cells, a technology borrowed from electric vehicle manufacturing. This design increases energy density by around 10%, which means longer battery life without increasing the physical size of the battery, or the ability to make the phone thinner while maintaining current battery life. Pricing and availability. So when can you actually get these phones? The iPhone 18 Pro, Pro Max, Air, and the Foldable model are all expected in September 2026. The standard iPhone 18 and the budget iPhone 18e will follow in spring 2027.